the devil and the angel on your shoulder is literally like your ego, your shadow self, and your higher self battling each other. And it's so funny, like, just becoming more self-aware and growing and healing and just stepping more into your truth, because it's like you go from a state of like okay, the crossroads between F everything, like I don't really care if like people see me for who I am or who the person that you've been kind of like hiding from the world, and your shadow self. You get to a point where you're like, I don't really care if these people see me, the true me, because I don't like any of these motherfuckers anyways. But then you realize you're like, then you get to a point where you're like, damn, like, it's because I don't really truly fully love myself yet. So then you go on that whole journey. And your ego, your shadow self, and your higher self are going back and forth all day, because now that you're aware of how you've been, how you don't want to be, and how you want to show up and embody, it's like there's a period of time where it's not going to happen overnight. You know, you're still almost retraining, rewiring your brain to act and to embody certain things, to show up certain ways, to change. You know, it takes practice and habit and repetition and discipline and consistency and just more self-awareness. So, you know, you're doing these things, but then you're immediately like, oh, that was my old self. That was my ego. That was that unhealed part of me that was just speaking right now. That wasn't my true divine self. That wasn't the higher me. That wasn't the angel on my shoulder. That was that little guy over there. But in the process of that, it's difficult, easier said than done, but seeing that, noticing that, being aware of when these habits, these patterns come up, and being able to still be like, okay, I love you. You got me through a lot of things when I did need to maybe be in survival mode a little more. But now that state of being isn't serving me anymore. So, you know, you are able to still give yourself grace and love and softness and nurturing, but also catch yourself, and or even if you do, which you will, fall back into those habits, repeat the same cycles. It's about the time, I guess. Dr. Joe, I keep saying that because it's Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I keep saying Dr. Doe. Dr. Doe Dispenza. Dr. Doe. What was I saying? Oh yeah, closing the gap between who you show up as in your internal and who you are who you are in your internal and who you show up as in your external, who you are and how you are. And closing that gap. And so what was I saying with that? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Oh, yeah. Closing the reaction time. So we want to go from reacting to responding. You know, our ego reacts. It's usually the shorter amount of time that it takes you in the beginning, I would say, to respond to a situation, the quicker you react, usually that's your shadow, that's your ego, that's your dark, that's your little devil on your shoulder. But when you take time to process, even if it's just a couple seconds, a couple minutes, take a deep breath, walk away, come back, address it when emotions are not high. But when you lengthen that response time, then that's usually more of the angel on your shoulder. That's your higher self. That's your, your truth. So our goal is to shorten the time that it takes us to respond as our highest selves. So I am in the midst with you guys as well, as far as the whole process and shortening that time and closing that gap and embodying the woman, the mother, the just being that I know I was put here to be, that I can be, that I know is within me. And that all these things that are not serving me, that are no longer aligned with me, I have the power to change those, to drop those, to let go of this, any baggage, you know what I mean? And so it's like, if I offered you $1 million to stop that habit, to change that aspect of your old self, to let go of this baggage, what's the first thing you would do starting right now, today, that would get you on your way to closing that gap? So yeah, I just love that it's like devil and the angel, and it's like, yeah, that's literally your shadow self and your highest self. So your dark and your light. Yeah, so I really just love that you can just connect to everything and it all just flows together, and that you have to also enjoy the journey and give yourself, again, like I said, grace, patience, love in each season, and appreciate each season. Rather than striving for perfection, you want to be present. Presence over perfection. You got to really drop into your body and be in the here and now. Yes, it's good to plan and have goals for, and know what your future self, the dreams and the life and the timeline of the, of your future higher self, but also know that right here and right now is where we're going to make those changes and rewiring and the reprogramming and the all the juiciness is in the here and now. Okay, so don't forget to stay present. Perfection is literally impossible. That's the thing about humans. No matter how hard and long we try, some people do go their whole lives striving for perfection. It's impossible, no matter how hard we try. So just be authentic. Show up with gratitude ahead of time for the smallest things. Our senses, sight, smell, taste, touch, intuition, just wisdom, nature. Like, I'm just staring at these little wispy clouds right now and listening to the birds and the trees and the dirt and just, so just all that to say, use discernment when it comes to how you're showing up and who you're letting speak, because sometimes we subconsciously fall into letting our ego, letting our lower vibrational selves. There you go. I was literally looking for this phrase, and I don't know why it was just slipped my mind. I was just like, I don't know why I couldn't think of it. Your lower vibrational self, we subconsciously allow that 95% to just fall into habit, to comfort, keeping us safe and survive rather than thrive. We weren't programmed hundreds of years ago to thrive. We were trying to literally hunt for food and gather and do all the things to stay alive. But now it's time to thrive. So time to break these cycles, break these generational curses, okay? We are changing our lineages here, okay? So I love you. You got this. And keep flowing and growing. And just stay grounded and stay present over everything. I love you. And give yourself some love. And I will see you in the next video. Mwah.